Well, when you spend 10 hours at work looking at your laptop screen and extra 3 to 4 for content creation at home, that's what you end up with. RIP. I know what you're always doing when you're not playing Rise of Kingdoms. You always think about, okay, this is going to be my 4th march, this is going to be my 5th march, and I will pair this commander with this, and it's going to be the perfect 5 march combination. Stop doing that, because in reality, most players don't actually need 5 marches in the open field. Now let me explain what happens almost all the time when I'm in KVK and there is action. There is always either a rally or garrison situation, and sometimes both. This means 90% of the time I was using up to 4 marches at best. And by the way, this is considering you are either free to play or low spender, and for you it is not very likely to unlock your 6th or 7th march unless you are just grinding like a maniac. So in that case, we only have 5 march options in total, but as I said, at least one of them is always either reinforcing a rally or a garrison. Even my 4th march was not on the field when I was fighting at least 50% of the time, because what you can do with your 4th march is, and that is pretty crucial, you can either grab a rune, have a secondary backup march to reinforce that rally or garrison. And if your spot is good and you're not going to teleport anytime soon, you will probably send 1 march at least to either altar or ruins to increase your honor points. So if you can only use up to 5 marches, most of the time you will end up using 3 marches. Let me show you my 5 march setup so we can discuss another downside. My first march is always Guan Yu and Scipio. The second one was Nevsky John. He's not in my city at the moment, so that's why it is blank. Nevsky primary, John secondary. And my 3rd march was Burica YSG. My 4th march was Harold paired with Alexander the Great. And my 5th march, if I need to use 5 marches for some reason, it was Attila paired with Takeda. The problem with my last 2 marches is that since we are free to play low spender, or this is, I think, also goes for mid spenders as well, the equipment difference between your top 3 marches is just going to be crazy. And on top of that, after equipment, now since we have formations and armaments, I had pretty decent ones for my actual 3 marches, but for my 4th and 5th march, my armaments and inscriptions, they were worse than average. So I felt like using more marches actually decreased my overall power and strength in the field pretty much all the time. And of course, there is a downside of using less marches. This means getting kills is going to take a lot longer, but in return, your hospital bills will be a lot less, and I think it is super important. And you may say there has to be a certain occasion that you need to use 4 or 5 marches, and yes, there was. If there was no objective fights, no rallies, no garrisons, and we need to push the enemy to a certain place in the map and we only focus on open field fighting, then yes, of course you want to use all you have. You want to use 4 marches if you have 4, you want to use 5 marches if you have 5, but that is extremely rare. And I think instead of planning your 5th march or 4th march, whatever, 4th may be okay for mid-spenders, but your 5th march, it's going to be a lot less powerful than your other 3 or 4 marches. And I certainly recommend you to focus on what you have and just go for march quality instead of march quantity. I think that is the way to go, especially for free-to-play and mid-spenders. You have your Guan Scipio, Nevsky John, and most likely not Burica YSG, but Burica paired with Zhuge Liang. Hope you guys liked it, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe for more Rise of Kingdoms videos. And I'll see you on this one. Make sure to tap on it. Goodbye.